Hey Tankers, this is Ace back with another one of my how to play videos. Today I'm bringing you guys video content on the T-62A Tier 10 Russian medium tank. I love the T-62A. It is probably one of my most prized tanks I have in my garage, and there's a lot of characteristics that make this tank unique and have its own very niche-like playstyle, which really make it an impressive tank to play, which I'm going to be going over with you guys. And there's so much to talk about this vehicle that I really had to go into the garage to show you guys a little bit about the stats before I actually go into my gameplay. But stay tuned, I will be showing you a few matches here in a little bit. But what really makes the T-62A shine is that it has the highest damage per minute out of any tier 10 medium in the game. It's 2,909, which is, if you're familiar with those numbers, is a lot higher than you're going to see on any of the other vehicles, even more so than the Batchat. The Batchat, while it can shell out a lot of damage really quickly in short succession, because it has that clip on it, you do have a long period of time in between reloads where you're pretty much sitting helpless and prostrated, where you have to either flee to wait for that reload time or have support to hold off whatever it is that you're facing to prevent you from being engaged. So there are times where you can feel naked in an autoloader. With the T-62A though, because it is a traditional tank, it doesn't have any of the autoloader features on it, and because it has such a fast rate of fire, you can continuously put shells down range on enemy targets and really put out a lot of damage consistently on enemy tanks, which really makes it a very powerful vehicle. The accuracy on the gun is excellent. 0.34 accuracy is, as I mentioned before, is a little bit better than that 0.36, which is that cutoff for a sniper. So you can snipe with this tank. However, really where it kind of can limit how you can snipe with the vehicle is that this tank does suffer from bad elevation and depression angles, so it isn't the best at fighting on hilly terrain, and it makes it kind of hard for you to get in and get those proper angles sometimes. But the depression isn't horrible, and you do kind of get used to it, and on level grounds you can burn through targets really effectively and quickly, so it really doesn't gip it too much. In exchange for this fast rate of fire though, the tank does suffer from a little lower damage per shot than you would expect from other tier 10 mediums. For example, the Leopard 1 and the M60 and the M48, those tanks all have an average damage of 390, whereas the T-62A has an average damage of 320 on its two primary shells, the high explosive anti-tank and the APCR. A little less than normal, and it really doesn't, in my opinion, really show. I mean, that's not much of a difference in damage. 70 damage is not. It's enough that it can be, if kind of an issue sometimes, but an alpha isn't always everything, and because you can, as I mentioned before, put so many rounds down range, it has a strength in itself that you can always threaten targets and always attack and destroy them. The other thing that really makes this tank excellent is that it's only a 40-ton vehicle. It's a relatively light, even though it only has 580 horsepower. Because it's so light, and it has such excellent traverse rates, 56 traverse and 48 on the turret, you can really, it feels almost zippy. It feels very responsive to your maneuvers, your moves. It moves very fluidly. You can circle targets once you get in close really well, and really bob and weave and really work your opponent, and just always keeping the pressure on enemy vehicles. And again, with using that really fast rate of fire, you could get off maybe 2, even 3 shots in between reloads of enemy tanks that do have those longer reloads, if you know which vehicles those are. TDs and some certain heavies like the E100 that have those really powerful alpha guns. If they fire and miss, that's a lot of time they have to sit in between shells, where you can just get off multiple shots and really damage them. While the tank has a lot of things going for it, it does have its weaknesses. One of those weaknesses is that the hull armor on it only being 102, that's only 2 millimeters more than the Type 59, which is a tier 8 medium for the Chinese. I kind of use that as a comparison. Not the best. I mean, most tanks can pen you in the hull pretty effortlessly, so you gotta really be careful of that, and you can angle it and sometimes get bounces, but it's not the worst of weaknesses, and the reason for that being is that the T-62A sits really low to the ground. If you compare it to an AMX-50B, you can see just how low to the ground this vehicle sits. It's very streamlined. It feels very, angry and dirty and just up in your face. And I like it because you can brawl with this tank as well. You can snipe with it if you need to. You have the accurate gun that you can, but you can also get up in your opponent's face and engage them up close. And the reason which makes this so effective is that even if you can lock horns and get in really close with the tank, the only thing that they're going to be able to hit is your turret. And the turret armor, however, is excellent. 240 turret armor is really impressive. And with the sloping of the round shape on the turret, it really can make it hard to pen up in close ranges. You can pen in the copula. It is like all tanks. It does have that weak point, and the side of the turret drops down to 161, which isn't can be penned, but it's still decent armor values. So if you can get in a situation where you can only have your turret exposed to your opponent, whether that be up close or from a distance using cover, either way, you can use it effectively. The other weakness that seems to be common with most Russian tanks, if you play through them, you're familiar with this, is that it is prone to ammo racks, so be really careful when you're using this vehicle. I recommend, if you're using crew skills, to go ahead and use safe stowage at least. You could even throw a wet ammo rack on it, but I personally like to run mine with vertical stabilizer, vents, and a rammer. I don't mind using my repair kit every so often to fix my ammo rack if I need to. But nonetheless, the tank performs excellently, so let's go ahead and jump into a game so I can show you guys a little bit about what I was talking about. Okay, so here we are on Fjords. If you're familiar with Fjords, there's really 3 areas of combat where you can face opponents. There's the southern approach, where usually the heavies go. There's kind of a middle area, there's kind of areas of opportunity. You'll have tanks sometimes that'll rush and scrimmage and fight here in between this section, and the fight up here in the northern section over the plains and the hill area. For this situation, being a really fast medium, me and my Batchat buddy here, Gorza, we decided we're going to go ahead and rush up here on the north and see if we can take and secure that high ground. As you can see here, again, I'm staying almost consistently at that 50 kph on that level ground, and it just, the tank maneuvers really well. And look at the bloom on the gun. I mean, we are going up a little slope, and I am slowing down a tad bit, but the gloom on the gun is excellent. So you can get off those on-the-move shots if you need to. So let's just go ahead and speed up a little bit to us getting up here on top of the hill. So here we are right in front, and first target we run into is a T-62A. Again, using that really impressive rate of fire, I'm able to get off those 2 shells real quickly and destroy that target before he can even move back to cover. And you can see a little bit, I have to really kind of sometimes expose myself a little bit here because of that bad, that bad depression, but even at that odd angle, I'm still, with that gold shell, able to penetrate the that Conqueror's hull armor. I'm sorry, excuse me, turret armor. But again, 2 shots off in short succession, and with those tanks rushing off the top, it's now time for me to run. Man, that T-10E3 slapped the crap out of me, so I'm really not in the best positions now with all those tanks coming over, so I'm going to move back. It's a good idea always to kind of let the heavier vehicles get in front, and as a medium you want to just kind of play that support role, get in on the flanks if you can, and just kind of get in that extra shot in between the reloads of the enemy targets you're facing. So I see Gorz is actually doing a really good job of destroying the targets in that lowered approach, and I'm not getting good angles there, so I go ahead and try to relocate here to the left flank and see if I can find a good shot. And with that T-34 in the back, I'm trying to be a little bit careful, and I managed to get a little bounce on that odd angle on the turret. It's going to happen to any vehicle. But now with those tanks destroyed, we got the okay to go ahead and move in close. That T-34 is kind of messed up, and it looks like I run into a 5100. And I bounced the first shot, and the second one hits me in the track. but not too serious a damage, and we still got the advantage here, so I'm going to go ahead and just keep moving forward and engage these targets. And I know that 5100 must be out of ammo if he's running away as he is, so I'm able to get off one quick shot and damage him. Get off a second one real quick. And get off another third one to finish him off real fast. And just those 3 shots real quick. You can't run from me if I got the shot on you. So that 5100 really tried to get away, but it didn't work out that way. And I'm able to reload again real fast and get that last shot on that Tiger too. So now with the hill clear, we're going to be zooming in here to see if we can reset the cap and capture the base, enemy base. And I run in and I see a very poorly playing T-44 just kind of sitting there out in the open. So boom, we get those shots off nice and quick. That really impressive reload again showing off, and as well as that really good accuracy. So now with those 4 tanks destroyed and us doing really well, I'm just going to go here and just kind of sit here and get my cap points as we need. Now I see that my buddy's getting some kind of odd angle on those tanks over there, and I'm really having a hard time finding it. But after some finagling and repositioning, I'm able to get one good shot off on that E100 there on his side armor from that distance. Yeah, 557 meter shot for 325 damage, not bad. Goes to show how well you can snipe with this tank if in the right situation. So, and we end up capping the base. So there it is, guys. There's the T-62A. As you can see, you can play it up close and personal as well as use it at distances. So a really good vehicle, and I highly recommend it. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out the rest of my videos. Providing a link also for my YouTube channel. And thanks as always for watching. Take care.